Prisons. Places where justice is enforced, but also where humanity is tested to its very limits. In the United Kingdom, there are prisons so notorious that even hearing their names sends shivers down the spine. Walls of stone meters thick, cramped cells, and the ghosts of the past lurking in every shadowed corridor. Subscribe to 5W Explore, and join us as we uncover the 5 most brutal prisons in Britain. Places where freedom is not only taken away, but utterly crushed. 5. Prison Wakefield, the Monster Mansion. Hidden deep in Yorkshire, England, Prison Wakefield is not just a prison, it is a symbol of cruelty. Built in 1594 as a small local jail, it has, over more than 400 years, become a Category A high-security prison that houses some of Britain's most infamous criminals. The public gave it a chilling name, Monster Mansion, and for good reason. Wakefield holds those society believes are beyond redemption. Among its residents were Harold Shipman, the doctor-turned serial killer who murdered over 200 patients, and Robert Maudsley, the cannibalistic killer kept in solitary confinement for decades. This is no place for ordinary offenders. It is hell for monsters disguised as men. Life inside Wakefield is a world apart from the outside. Inmates are locked away 23 hours a day in freezing cells, with just 1 hour outside under constant surveillance. Thick stone walls, cameras watching every move, and steel doors slamming shut erase any hope of escape. Wakefield is notorious not just for strict control, but also for bloody violence. Stabbings, attacks on guards, and even inmate murders have left their mark on its dark corridors. Tension, pressure, and isolation create a suffocating atmosphere where survival itself is a daily battle. With its grim history and infamous residents, Wakefield is more than a prison. It is a place where humanity is crushed, where time itself seems frozen. To this day, it still bears its terrifying title, the Monster Mansion. What do you think of Prison Wakefield and the men locked away inside? Share your thoughts below. 4. Belmarsh, Britain's Guantanamo. In southeast London, hidden within an ordinary industrial estate, lies a place the British call the Guantanamo of the UK, Belmarsh. Opened in 1991, it quickly became a symbol of harshness in Britain's modern prison system. Belmarsh is not for petty criminals. It is reserved for terrorists, mass murderers, and the most dangerous offenders. With Category A security, Belmarsh is surrounded by 5-meter walls, razor-sharp barbed wire, and guard towers fitted with 24/7 cameras. To enter, one must pass layers of strict checks, biometric scans, reinforced steel doors, and armed officers ready to act at any moment. This is not just a prison. It is a cold steel fortress where escape is impossible. Inside, life is described as hellish isolation. Prisoners are often confined to tiny, windowless cells for 22 hours a day, left with only 4 walls and the metallic echoes of the prison. 1 short hour outside takes place in a bleak, fenced yard under the grey London sky. The only sounds, the clang of iron doors and the steady footsteps of guards. Belmarsh has housed world-famous figures, Abu Hamza, the radical cleric accused of terrorism, and Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. Every story within these walls is soaked in secrecy and tension. Outside, people may forget its existence. Inside, it is a separate universe, where justice comes in the form of total isolation. Belmarsh is more than a prison. It is a reminder that even in a civilized society, there exist places so dark that no light can enter. 3. Prison Frankland, the pressure cooker of crime. In Durham, northeast England, there is a prison criminals whisper about with dread, Frankland. It is not famous for grand architecture or riots, but for an atmosphere of relentless tension. A pressure cooker always on the verge of exploding. Opened in 1980, Frankland is a high-security category of prison that holds men society sees as permanent threats. Behind its gray walls live hundreds of murderers, child abusers, and violent offenders, people with nothing left to lose. And that is what makes them dangerous. Life inside Frankland is controlled to the smallest detail. Footsteps echoing down iron corridors. Constant surveillance from hidden cameras. Every move restricted. Yet this very repression builds a dangerous energy, waiting for the smallest spark. Over the years, Frankland has seen countless violent attacks, cell murders, and even assaults on guards. Its inmates have included Levi Belfield, the killer of multiple young women, and Ian Huntley, whose murder of 2 schoolgirls shocked the nation. Their presence alone creates a poisonous atmosphere of hatred and menace. Frankland lacks the bloody riots of Strangeways or the notoriety of Belmarsh. But its eerie silence, broken only by the metallic hum of prison life, makes it a psychological hell. In here, even the smallest mistake can be paid for in blood. 2. HMP Full Sutton, the Cold Steel Fortress. In Yorkshire, near the town of Pocklington, stands a structure as formidable as a fortress, HMP Full Sutton. Built in 1987, it is one of Britain's most secure prisons, designed for inmates no other facility can manage. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary industrial complex, but within lies a closed world of layered defenses, concrete walls, razor wire, 360-degree surveillance, and steel doors so heavy they are unbreakable. Here, solitary confinement is the norm. Life inside Full Sutton is brutal. Prisoners are locked in tiny cells, with every interaction tightly controlled. Yet even under these conditions, violence thrives. The 2011 murder of Christopher Edwards inside his cell proved that no amount of security can fully contain hatred and brutality. The prison has housed infamous names like Colin Ireland, a sadistic serial killer, and Dennis Nilsen, the cannibal murderer who horrified Britain. For them, Full Sutton was not just a prison, it was a steel fortress where hope itself was destroyed. To this day, Full Sutton remains one of the UK's most fortified facilities, a place where freedom is a memory, and silence hangs heavy over grey concrete walls. 1. HMP Prison Manchester, Strangeways, Hell on Earth. Few prisons in Britain carry a darker legacy than HMP Prison Manchester. Better known by its chilling nickname, Strangeways. Built in the 19th century, it was once a proud symbol of the British penal system. But over time, it became hell on earth, a place of riots, bloodshed, and despair. The most infamous event came in 1990, when over 1,400 inmates rioted for 25 straight days, turning the prison into a battlefield. The uprising left 2 dead, hundreds injured, and became one of the worst prison riots in British history. Images of prisoners climbing the roof, waving flags amid flames and chaos, remain burned into the nation's memory. Though rebuilt after the riots, Strangeways retained its harshness. Cells remain overcrowded, often holding double their intended capacity, creating suffocating and dangerous conditions. Shouts, violence, and the stench of damp stone fill the air. Strangeways has held countless notorious criminals, but for many, it represents something more, the ultimate collapse of humanity when men are pushed into darkness. Even today, the very name Strangeways makes both inmates and guards uneasy. Behind its iron gates, hell has never truly closed. 5 prisons, 5 hells hidden within Britain. These walls do not just hold criminals, they hold the darkest shadows of the human soul. Which prison do you think is the most terrifying? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to 5W Explore for more untold stories from history and beyond.